Welcome to our complete guide to aid you in your ultimate journey through Throne and Liberty at level 50. Let's get into it. Upon reaching level 50, you'll receive one purple item for finishing the storyline via the Codex. You're going to feel helpless and lost without direction as a plethora of new activities are introduced. What do? We're going to set a goal, and that goal is upgrading your remaining greens to blues as soon as possible. As an example, we crafted an additional green for the context of this tip. So how do we do what we do? The lithograph book. You will utilize the Startle Observatory power for contracts to obtain green litho recipes if you don't own them already. Armor, weapon, and accessory lithographs can be purchased additionally from the contract coin merchant in any town. Armor and accessory lithographs can be purchased for 50 contract coins, while weapon lithographs can be purchased for 100 coins. And remember guys, you will be able to farm these contract coins simply by doing your daily contracts. So identify your remaining greed items, seek the litho book for which greens you need to craft in order to convert them into your desired blue items. This process will simply be repeated until all your gear is blue. Daily contracts rotation, Watcher's Post. Watcher's Post will be many places to call home once you level 50, and this will be your daily contract area you're going to want to grind. Every day, you receive 10 contract rights per day, which will be consumed upon activating a new contract, and you can check how many contract tokens you have simply by going to any contract manager in any town. You will be looking in order of priority per page, as once you accept one contract, you can refresh the page to view new contract orders. There are several materials and rewards we're seeking from Watcher's Post, and there's an order of priority you want to look for. The first in the list is the precious blessing pouch, and that's a purple item. The item is not entirely common, but you want to look for it every rotation of contracts when you're accepting. When you receive it, you have a random chance of acquiring a purple item or some resistance contract scrolls, which we'll get into in another tip. The priority list looks like this: precious blessing pouch, rare Marind ore, that is the small blue ore that you use to craft skill book upgrades, rare rubrics ore, it's the small red ore for weapon upgrades, rare Stellan ore, it's small yellow for the armor, and then we're finishing with the rare Emirate ore, small green for accessories. You can also go to the contract coin merchant. This merchant has two items that you can purchase. One is a daily purple bag, and that is going to cost 200 contract tokens itself. The other item is 1,500 contract tokens, and that actually gives you a chest that you can select a weapon from. There's an additional way to get the precious blessing pouch, and that is via the ornate coin system, and you can find those in the shop. This is a currency that is not purchasable, but achieved or acquired through in-game achievements. Once you're in the shop screen, you want to scroll all the way to the bottom, and this is going to be the ornate shop, or you can click on the left-hand side. You do have that column there with clickable tabs, and you will see that you have a monthly limit of the blessings pouches that you can purchase with those ornate coins. You also have trait extraction stones that you can purchase as well. So it is noted that the limit of the blessing pouches is 15 per month. You're able to send your Amitois you collect in the world on expeditions to gather various crafting materials. If you haven't done so already, you can visit the Amitoi house by clicking the small icon adjacent to your minimap, or by simply clicking on the Amitoi portrait, which is going to be at the bottom of your screen. Once you're here, Amitoi Expeditions focus on two zones. You have Loslan and Stoneguard, and there's level and loot differences between each expedition you find in said zone. You're going to want to utilize this system as much as possible to reap the benefits it'll provide for you. Crafting materials. The amount of crafting materials you're going to receive vary based on the expedition and the amount of Amitois used for said expedition. The crafting materials also change depending on which expedition you send them on. We would recommend sending them for salt, as salt is used in cooking recipes and can only be farmed via the expedition system or by farming crabs on the beach in Windhill Shores and Daybreak Shore. When you felt like you've collected enough salt, we would recommend sending them to Daybreak Shore in Stoneguard, as they have a chance to give you a blue bag, which can also drop the best fishing rod in the game. Currently, you can send them on 4 different timed expeditions: 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, and 8 hours. And it's most valuable this time to send them on 1 hour expeditions while you play. And when you plan on logging off or getting off for the evening, send them on a longer expedition like the 8 hour, which will grant you more rewards by the time you get back on. Amitoi Partnership and Expeditions. PAL synergy. Acquiring new Amitois provides a multitude of benefits, which can include up to increased drop rate of 7%, mastery weapon bonus by 6%, increased Abyssal token efficiency by 7%, Solent bonus by 8.1%, and EXP bonus by 12%. What we want to focus on is 2 or 3 of the benefits listed prior: item drop rate, mastery bonus for weapons, and Abyssal token efficiency, as it is consumed for the open world dungeon farming. How do we do it? When you're scrolling through your list of acquirable Amitois, click on the objective you need to complete and move to how to acquire. For example, it's a wooden sword battle challenge, introduces you to a little friend in the box quest line via your codex. Make sure you favorite from this window so you ensure the most efficiency when completing these. Once the quest line is completed and you have acquired both 2 out of 2 challenges, you will unlock item chance plus 0.05%. Select them all to receive your 7% bonus. Just as a reminder, guys, if you are enjoying this content, we do really appreciate it if you go ahead and go down to the bottom section there and leave us a comment, drop us a like, drop us a subscribe. It helps us massively. Also, if you guys have any questions throughout your day or your plan, you just get stumped, feel free to drop by the channel. We do stream Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we are on NA West Lunar server. Thank you, guys. Take care. Dimensional contract tokens. First, Abyssal contract tokens. Dimensional contract tokens are generated at 900 tokens per day, less if you're under 50, maxing out at 4,500. So you want to make sure you're actually consuming these, otherwise you're actually losing value. These will be consumed in your co-op dungeons, which give you a loot chest following the boss kill, with a chance at boss exclusive gear. When you finish a boss, you have 2 options. You can choose to either open the chest for 300 dimensional tokens, or you can choose to not open the chest and you won't consume your tokens. Therefore, form the dungeon to aid your guildies and friends that need specific items in their build, and then save your tokens for a dungeon for your preference that fits your desired build. You're also allowed to be in the negative, between -300 and 0. So let's say you have 50 tokens left and you want to run another dungeon. You can open the chest and it'll put you at -250 because of the difference between 300 and 50. And then that difference will be applied on the following day's reset. So instead of you gaining 900 tokens, you'll still gain the 900, but you'll be at 650 now. Abyssal contract tokens, those guys are a little different. They are automatically consumed while farming open world dungeons, which causes the mobs to have increased drop rates. You're able to view monster info, which will provide a loot table from said mobs, allowing you to further identify which dungeons you want to farm for your ideal build. Now, these pair wonderfully with resistance contracts, which you farm at your desired dungeon that you want to go to. So Saradama's Island, let's say, or Sanctum's Desire, which we also want to note that if you are trying to do Sanctum's Desire dungeon, you can only access that dungeon while it's raining. So just be on guard whenever it's raining, try to farm that dungeon because you do get very good drops. Additional Abyssal contract tokens are automatically acquired when you finish a co-op dungeon, as well as your dailies, watchers, post contracts. For specific Amitois and morphs, they can also drop from co-op dungeons and world bosses, but they drop on the ground prior to the chest spawning, which is really great. So you can actually get the Amitoi or morph without even having to open the chest in the dungeon. Allied Resistance Forces contract scrolls. These right here are additional contracts that you can get from your contract merchant, but these are for specific open world dungeons in the game. These are really, really great because they give you access to, on top of your 5 collective bounties that you can do at a time, you can add additionals. So I'm just gonna go to my contract list real quick and show I have 5 contracts selected, but I also can do 5 resistance contracts. I don't know why these are, they're kind of backwards in this list, but these are the blue scrolls and they are dungeon specific. So there's Sanctum of Desire and Saradama Island that I currently have selected. I can click this. It's going to take me to that dungeon. I can click this dungeon, and now I can click any of these mobs in this list, and it's going to show me what they drop. Now, the really great thing is, while you're farming all of these mobs, you can get these drop rates from the mob itself, but you're going to get a task to complete while you're doing that, which is defeat 8 more of these Avalos Aeromancers, and I'm going to get also these rewards, which is an individual purple bag specific for that dungeon with all of the dungeon drops for purples. So on top of farming the mobs to try to actually get the purples, you can finish the bounties and get an additional chance at getting your purple items. So it accelerates your progress in the game. Want to do the scrolls that are specific for the character growth for your character. So what you want to do if you don't actually like the items for your dungeon for that scroll and you want to farm a different one more, what you can do is you can actually dissolve them. And let's just go ahead and dissolve one Silas Abyss scroll. It's going to give me 5 green scrolls, and I need 10 green scrolls to craft a specific blue scroll. So every 2 that I disenchant, I can get 1 of the one that I want. So let's go ahead and just disenchant. I actually have a bunch of these in my bank, so I'm not going to go ahead and do it just yet. But let's say I did disenchant that. I run over to the Purple Sundries Merchant, which is inside Stoneguard Castle at the bottom of your map. Here, you use your green scrolls to craft any blue scroll that you want. The other item that you get from this dungeon contracts, which are super valuable that help progress your character as well if you don't happen to get lucky with drop rates, you get a currency called Abyss currency. You get one of these per completion of your bounty. Every single bounty that you complete for a dungeon, you get one Abyss currency. What those are used for is for crafting additional purples. So it's basically a pity system in the game as well. You can just left click this, you click view usage, it's going to take you to these. Left click this again, and now it takes you to your crafting menu, and it shows that you need 40 Abyss currencies to craft any of these 4 chests. All 4 of these chests are going to have a different selectable ingredient that you can choose from. So when you use 40 Abyss currency, I can choose one of these 4 items, or I can choose one of these 4 items, or these 5 items, or these 5 items. Each contract scroll is going to give me the same currency, but I only need 40 total in order to craft the specific items from one dungeon. One other note with the contract scrolls, you can buy a weekly limit from any sundries merchant as well. These brown tubes, you can buy 6 of these, and it gives you 1 of each of the blue contract scrolls. So when you get 6 for your weekly limit, you get 6 of each scroll. You can also buy 3 of these ones. Titles Tower scrolls are actually kind of specific. They're not for an open world dungeon. They're for Secret Tower. You can click it. Right here it says the Titles Tower, which is the limit of 3. My requirement for getting this scroll is defeat Lightning Jump Attacker on Titles Tower level 13th floor. I go to 13th floor, and it shows me my bounty icon. And once I enter, I can do that boss again, and I can now finish that contract. Want to note on another thing, guys, is with the bounty system, with all contracts in the game, this is a super nice factor because obviously you guys know that you share mobs, and when somebody grays out a mob, you no longer receive drop rates for it, but you actually still get bounty progress. You can see right here, I need 9 more sentries, but I'm gonna go ahead and tag that one real quick. Even though it wasn't mine, I got a point for him. So I just got another point for that one too. So it helps with a lot of farming that you can just stack up a whole bunch of scrolls, find super crowded areas that are all gray, and just tag every single one of them to finish your bounties extremely quickly. This also goes for guild contracts. Guild contracts finish the exact same way. You get progress for guild contracts. World boss rotations. World bosses or field bosses spawn at periodic times throughout the map. Some in open world dungeons, which turn PvP at night, and others which are just purely PvP or conflict boss. These bosses will spawn one of 2 ways, conflict and peaceful. They are somewhat self-explanatory, where conflict is a PvP battle with other guilds and players and the boss as well. And then peaceful, which is just going to be you and other players, but non-conflict, you're just versus the boss. This is what we'd recommend for you in your early grinding journey, as you won't have to worry about the PvP aspect. You can view the loot polls of each boss by clicking the schedule button immediately next to your mini-map, and then finding the boss you want to check. We want to repeat this for all the bosses until you narrow down which gear pieces you're chasing after for your character. Clicking on the boss will also take you to their spawn location on the map, and then you can then click the closest waypoint to run that direction. Or before clicking on the boss, you can click the waypoint icon, which is in the same line in that schedule, and it automatically takes you to the nearest waypoint. Upon the boss spawn, 1 to 5 red portals are going to appear, and there's going to be popularity on the portals. You'll be able to see them being light, medium, full, as well as indicating how many of your guildmates are actually present inside, so you can identify which portal that you want to go into. To note, if the portal says it's full, it's going to be red, bold lettering. You're still going to be able to enter it. Upon killing the boss, you're going to be guaranteed a chest drop with crafting materials and a chance to drop their purple and blue items on the ground, which you were able to see through the schedule button. These items, when you get them, like purples and blues, they will be distributed to your guild's item storage chest, and depending on the guild's distribution settings, they will either be auctioned for Lucent, or you can send them to the recipient via their mailbox, and it's going to show you who the recipient is for the item. To add to the world boss loot, there is a pity system involved with this as well, which is very nice. When you kill a world boss, one of the items that's going to drop is a special resistance medal. This is a guaranteed drop on every one of them. Once you acquire 40 of these special resistance medals, you're able to go to the special crafters in Stoneguard City, and you just take precious parchment, which is going to be an item that you will farm over time, and you can create a purple item from this list, which is a really great addition. I do really enjoy the pity system here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out during this video. We really hope that some of this information helped you. And if you feel that it really did, please go drop a comment down below for us to let us know, or anything that you'd like us to include in the following video. I also want to give a big shout out to our community for giving this game a chance and also providing some additional information that really made this video possible. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. We also have an additional tips and tricks video that we did release last week, guys. It is 10 tips and tricks for beginners, which does include some item preset information as well as skill management, and that can be very, very helpful for you. So if you've not done so already, you can click this right here and go check it out. That's going to finish it. We'll see you guys next time.